mentioned, WeChat is kind of like the app you want to have. It has just everything in it. You can chat, you can call people, you can do video chatting, you can order takeout, you can buy movie tickets, you can call taxis, you can just do anything. You can play games. And what we're about to do, we're going to highly recommend everybody actually download this on your phone. And then we're going to form different groups. We're going to have one gigantic group of everyone so we can make an announcement. And also we might have just groups for different buses as well. Unfortunately, there's not a really lot of solutions for English version of maps in China. Apple Map actually works in China. Google Map doesn't work in China. The good old Nokia Here We Go app actually works in China in English. So these are the map apps that we recommend, Apple and also Here We Go. And if you're actually interested in learning a little bit of Chinese, or you're wondering what that big sign says in front of you, or you want to read the menu, without English, this is a great app to download. It's called Pleco. It has a dictionary. It has this feature that you can actually point at Chinese characters and it would just translate instantly right on the screen for you. So this is an app I highly recommend for those of you who want to get over the language barrier. And they use metric system over there, so ConvertPad for Android is what I use. It's great. A unit converter for Apple. For those of you who want to understand, kilometers versus miles and things. And because Google search doesn't work in China, and everybody knows what the Chinese version of Google is in China? It's called Baidu. However, Baidu is really not optimized for English searches. Most of the Chinese people use that for Chinese search. So your alternative is actually the Microsoft version of the search engine. It's called Bing. It actually works in China. You can search both in Chinese and English. It's actually not that bad. So this is actually the search engine you probably want to use. Any questions on technology? Yeah.
Can you repeat the name of the free VPN? The name of the free VPN?
The free VPN? Yeah. What is the...
We need to check it out. And we can find the link and share it later. Once the WeChat group is there.
All good so far? All right, next, money. That's important. So I guess they don't use US dollars over there for the most of the places. So you have to exchange your money to Chairman Mao here. And the current currency exchange rate is about $1 to 6.4 yuan, YUAN. And then you can exchange your money at airport, or at hotel, or at a Chinese bank. So if you're about to actually take a taxi, you're definitely going to need some Chinese cash. So I highly recommend that you actually get some money at the Chinese airport if you're about to use if you don't have a pickup. Otherwise, we all know that international, savvy travelers, airports usually offer very awful hotel exchange rates. So you don't want to change too much at the airport. At the hotel, you get a much better rate. Actually, you get the best rate at the bank, but I don't know if you want to bother a trip to the bank. Credit cards. Credit cards are accepted, but they're not everywhere to be accepted. So you can bring your credit card. You can definitely use it at a hotel. A lot of the restaurants, but the street vendors and places like that, not necessarily. So bring some cash with you for survival money. And basically, you do not want to depend your survival on credit cards in China. Mobile payments. If you actually talk to any Chinese people living in this big city, especially younger generation, very often people just don't bring cash anymore. They use WeChat Pay or Alipay. These are the two most popular mobile payment system. What you need to do, even to get a pancake off a street stand, you can use your phone and scan a QR code and pay for it. It's really cool. So we're actually talking to the student leader right now to try to set up some sort of mobile pay system for you guys, so at least you can experiment this. It's super cool. So China is definitely, especially the big cities, definitely going leaping towards the cashless society right now. And now, this passport and visa, if you lost all of your money, fine. we can work with that. We can deal with that. You're still gonna have a fun time in China. If you lost your passport, that's gonna be a lot of trouble. Okay, so this is your most important documents that you do not want to lose. Now, there are only 3 occasions. Usually there's a 4th occasion of visiting the American embassy, but you're not going there. So you only need your passport for the following 3 occasions. Of course, when you need it when you enter China. But after that, when you're flying or take the train within China to check in the airport, of course, right? That's the easy one. When you check into the hotel, you have to have your passport. When you actually exchange money, I'm not talking about exchange, between you and the local guy, but at the hotel, at the airport, at the bank, when you exchange money, you actually need your passport. Okay, those are the 3 only occasions when you need your passport. Nowhere else, where no other time you will actually need your passport. You do not need to bring your passport going to the bar or ordering a beer. There's no drinking age limit. Okay, I had my first beer when I was 4 years old. That's why I'm not drinking beer anymore. But bring a photocopy of the bio page of your passport at all times, as well as the visa page. Okay. So if you ever need to show your identification to anyone, you show the photocopy. You keep your passport in the hotel safe until you go to the next city. Everybody got that? It's very important. All right, cool. All right, travel insurance. This is the travel insurance company we actually recommend, Allianz Travel Insurance. And this is the number you probably want to write down. And this is the number actually for them to know that you're traveling with Real China. In case of any emergency, they will contact us. So start with F as in Frank 032209. Okay. And the weather closing in China. This is not a weather forecast. It's more like a historical average of March in Beijing, Hangzhou, and Shanghai. As you can see, it's pretty much the 50s. So it could get a little bit chilly. So definitely bring multiple layers. And anything you feel comfortable wearing here should be okay in China. Okay. There's really no specific dress code. I know the student leaders will be talking about some of the company visits. I think there might be some dress code requirements for those, but for all the sites we're going to, there's no dress code. Okay, there might be some like high-end bars and nightclubs. You don't want to wear flip-flops. You have to wear shoes and dress and all that. But for all these touring activities, no. You do want to bring the medicines that you actually rely on. Make sure you bring, if it's a prescription medicine, make sure you bring the prescription with you. So if you actually stop at the border to ask what that little white powder is, and you actually have the proof what that is from your doctor. And also, Tylenols and stuff like that, that's all available in China over the counter. But you might want to bring a little bit just for convenience, because when you have a headache, the next thing you want to do is to have more headaches searching for a pharmacy in China. Okay. And speaking of that, for 120 people, just statistically speaking, it is normal on the first couple of days. You may feel a little bit funny with your stomach. Okay, it's completely normal. Because you're in a different country, you're eating different food, you have a different group of bacteria and germs, and everything is different. However, if you just can't stop going to the bathroom, you just you're really sick, let us know. We'll take you to the hospital and see doctors and all that. But it is normal that you're feeling kind of funny for the first couple of days. So for phones, again, I think to talk to each other, I think WeChat is a great app for us to actually talk to each other. You could get a local SIM card upon your arrival at the airport, or you can follow the directions from local guides. You can get a local SIM cards. And calling back to the US, I would recommend using something like Skype, unless you have international roaming plans. Okay. I know T-Mobile has really terrible signals everywhere, but one thing I really like about T-Mobile is actually it has international roaming and calling and data plans. It's really great. But talk to your phone carrier. If you want to use your phone, you want to use your US number in China, and make sure they can do some sort of international data package for you. You're probably not going to be doing a lot of calling, but data, I think, is really. Emergency contact information is all going to be on your name badge. It's also going to be on your itinerary, detailed itinerary, which we're going to be sending out about a month ahead of your trip. You definitely want to bargain in the market. Okay, you're not going to bargain when you go to like Prada store or anything like that. But if you go to a night market, you go to souvenir shop, stuff like that, definitely bargain. Okay. And voltage in China is twice as high as here. Okay. So if you stick your finger into that plate, you're twice likely to be shocked. And in the US, it's 110. Okay. So if you're bringing any small appliances like chargers for your computer, your digital camera, your cell phones, make sure you read the fine print on your charger to make sure it actually accepts 220. Most of the modern appliances take anywhere from 100 to 240, but there's still some made actually will take only 110. I guarantee you, if you actually plug it into the Chinese wall, you're gonna get burned. Okay. Alright. Anything else? Alright, so all the people involved, I think the student leaders will be just introduced. I think there was Peter Chen here. Missing. This is not the latest slides, I guess. We already have the local guys assigned. In Beijing, we have, this guy's name is funny, Bat, Eric, David. They're all guys, male, really, really funny people. I think you connect with them really well. We understand what this tribe is all about, so we're not assigning this kind of senior old librarian type of tour guide just to ramble about the history of the Philippines. These are really fun guys to work with. And for a change, when we arrived in Hangzhou, we have Summer, Zoe, Callie, three sweet ladies from Shanghai. So in Hangzhou and Shanghai, you're going to be having the same local guys because they're pretty close to each other. Okay. So Bat, Eric, David, they're not going to be traveling with you to Hangzhou.
I will share it. I don't know.
Me and Justina will be escorting this trip as well. We'll be with you from the day one to the last day. So we'll be traveling between city and cities. We'll be with you everywhere. Okay. So 6 student leaders, 2 on each bus, and then 1 local guide in each city on each bus. And then there are 2 of us, okay, from real China and the US.
Shit around.
Right. So a little bit of a business etiquette. I know some of you guys are probably meeting with your business friends or visiting, companies during the half day in China. Just really quickly, okay. So names in China, we actually go family name first, followed by the given names. So it's last name first, and then first name. So for example, look at the name Yang Ming. What is his family name or last name? Yeah, exactly. So we call him by his last name. Alright, people call me Nick, but my Chinese name, my last name is Wang, and first name is Wei. Okay, so there's a million people actually, probably tens of millions of people sharing the last name. So if you actually want to call me with my Chinese name is Wang Wei. Wang Wei. So it sounds like wrong way. Wrong way. Okay. Not exactly a good name for travel business, so you can just call me Nick. And being on time for your appointment is really important. It could be challenging in Beijing because of the traffic. Okay, but I don't know what company business are being set up by the student tribe leaders, but being on time is very, very important. And you handle the name cards with both of your hands. So for example, if this was the name card, you give your name card with both of your hands. You take them, actually, if you're given a business card, you take both of them. You take it with both of your hands. Okay. You take the card, you don't just throw it away, put it in your back pockets, you actually read it at least for 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Okay, and then you put it in front of you. So people actually give a lot of respect to the business cards. And then if you are going to give gifts to any Chinese friends or local friends, you don't want to give any gifts as clocks because it sounds like death. And then green hats, not a good gift in China. Anybody knows what that means? Green hat? Somebody wearing a green hat means his partner is cheating on him or her. So this is a Chinese saying, hey, look at that guy, he's wearing a green hat. It means like his wife is probably cheating on him. Okay, so green hat is not a good gift to give. No clocks, no green hats. And all these political questions, feel free to ask these questions to me, feel free to ask these questions to local guys. But if you are going to a Chinese company meeting, you do not want to ask questions like, is Taiwan part of China? What do you think? Do you like the communist Chinese government? And Chinese and Japanese, hey, they're the same. You don't want to say those things. Okay. You just want to ask. Okay. All right. Just heads up. We actually ran out of manila envelopes. So for those of you back in the line, if you do not have manila envelopes, you might want to run to get some manila envelopes. Okay. Thank you. All right. Chinese language. Again, our goal here is not for you to actually master the language after these 2 slides. It's a very difficult language to learn, but we're going to try to have some fun, understand what this language is all about. So, first of all, I like that everybody know that Chinese language is definition-based instead of phonetic language. What does that mean? Each character, you see these characters, right? This character, 中国, means Central Kingdom or China. Chinese language actually consists of these characters. There's about, 5,000 most frequently used characters and probably 80,000 total. But each character carries the meaning, very less often the sound of what you're about to say. So for example, Central Kingdom. Can you guys see why this character means center or central? You have a block and a bar in the middle, right? In the center. There's a bar in the center. So that means it's center or center. Why is this a kingdom? The character actually within this box here means jade. And in the past, the emperor's stamp is actually made of jade. So you have a city wall with a jade stamp inside it, which means there's a country. In the very ancient days, a country is pretty much just one city, with a wall, and some kind of jade stamp. So you can, as Chinese kids growing up, if you see a character you've never seen before, you don't know how this is pronounced. You kind of can guess the meaning of that sometimes, but you don't know how this sounds. Okay. And there's the simplified version of this, which is used everywhere in mainland China, and the traditional. This means dragon, by the way. It kind of looks like a dragon here, but this is a much more simplified version of this. Now, this is the traditional characters are only used in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Chinatowns in the U.S. now. Okay, and the simplified characters are used in mainland China and Singapore. Okay. Now, also, this is very important because the characters are definition-based. So Chinese people invented recently meaning 50, 100 years ago, pinyin system, which carries out the phonetic for these characters. However, so basically you say ni hao. Instead of writing in the characters, you spell it as N-I-H-A-O, right? Sounds like English, right? So that's what we call pinyin. However, the tough part of this, which is really important that you know, is there are 4 tones to every sound in Chinese characters. So, ma, 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 ma. Did it sound the same to all of you guys? To Chinese people, trust me, they're completely different. Ma is mom, mother. Ma is kind of like a fabric, or ma is horse, ma is the curse. They're completely different. Now, okay, so that was fun, but why do you need to know this? I'll give you another fun example since you guys are MBA students. Mai and mai. So mai is to buy, and mai is to sell. So imagine like a Chinese stock trading floor, if you don't get the tones, you can totally get your transaction to lose your job, it's millions of dollars. But why do you need to know this? Basically, when you try to mimic a sound, like, somebody said, this restaurant is really good, it's called yada, yada, yada. You turn around and say the same thing to the Chinese person who's like, I don't understand what you just said. You're like, I said exactly what you guys just said to me. Why do you not understand? Why? Because your tones are completely off. Does that make sense? So, when you go to different places, I know you're going to be out about on your own, going to a restaurant and have a couple beers and meet up with your friends. when you need to go to anywhere, if you are actually taking a taxi or you actually want to make sure you know where you're going, you need to have the Chinese people or somebody who actually understands Chinese write down the Chinese address in Chinese characters for you. Not in Pinyin. Okay, Pinyin is very ambiguous and people actually don't, adults most of the time don't use Pinyin. It's actually for kids actually to learn Chinese. You don't use Pinyin, you have somebody write down characters such as these. And you don't try to say it to the taxi driver. You can try, have fun with that, but you may end up at somewhere he thinks you're going. Okay, because of the tones. So anywhere you want to go, have the hotel concierge, have me, have your local guide, have your student leader write it down in Chinese characters. That's the only way to guarantee that you're actually going to end up at the place you intend to. All right, any questions? No? Okay, great. All right, so here's a few things. Just to give you a sense of what Chinese language look like. So everybody want to practice together with me? Say, 你好. 你好. That's hello. All right. 谢谢. Thank you. You're going to use these two very much. 厕所. 厕所. That's bathroom. All right. Probably need that. This one, you're going to need it.太贵了.
This one
太贵了.
should say January, right?
You're going to have to say it like you mean it. You can't say
Should I
太贵了.
change it here?
You just say 太贵了.
Or should I change it to?
太贵了. Too expensive.
01?
You're trying to rip me off. 太贵了.
Is it 01?
Give me a beer. That's important, right?
Should I just
给我啤酒.
01?
Should be.
Give me beer.
The way
Beer
it
is
is
啤酒.
year, month, and then date.
Okay. So that was just for the fundamentals. So hopefully everybody have a little bit of sense of what Chinese language is like. Okay. Additional resources, Risotto Stone and Astrid Fred, and we have Philip, Justina here who actually studied Chinese all through their life. So if you're interested in the language, feel free to talk to them. All right. So a little bit about Real China. We mostly help educational trips to China, Vietnam, Singapore. All of our trips are school educational immersion trips. And you're already meeting some of us. This is not all of us, but some of the people. Justina, Philip, and Nick. You're probably going to be getting some emails from Joe as well ahead of the trip. He's actually helping me together to plan this trip. All right. Any other questions? You guys feel like you're ready to go? Yeah? Get some beer in China, kick some ass. All right. So let's do the student leader. There's an important educational part of this trip, which is company visit and sponsorship. So I'll let the student teacher talk. Student leader talk.